Hey guys, welcome to Manifesting Better. I'm back with another video and another topic that needs to be addressed. I also have an Instagram account, the link for that is in the description box below. Coaching is also available, the link for that too is in the description box below. Hey guys, hope you're well. So in this video, I want to talk about 5 big manifestation mistakes. And I have made a video like this before, but these are things that have resurfaced and these are things that are coming up now. So I thought that it would be best if I make a video about them. Now I will also explain with all the 5 mistakes then what can be the solution to it and why is it that these kind of things can hinder your manifestation journey. So let's just directly get into the video. The first big manifestation mistake that people make is considering manifestation as a power struggle game. Now, this is going to be a detailed one. So first, this is only for people who are manifesting a specific person or love or someone in their life in some capacity. If you are manifesting money or something else, then you can just pass this one. But a big mistake that people make while manifesting love, relationships, money in their life is that they make it a power struggle game. So there is a lot of advice on the internet about how you should go into dating, right? It ranges from dating coaches to manifestation coaches to self-help coaches to people who are giving therapy advice, people who are giving relationship advice. It's a long scheme of things, right? A lot of that advice is focused on how to play power struggle games in relationships. Now, let me first explain what a power struggle game is while being in a relationship. Playing hard to get, not calling that person, saying that, oh, you know what, I will call them if they call me back, and I will wait 3 days to finally make a move, or I will wait 20 hours to reply to their text. All these small things are a power struggle game. Now we have all been a culprit of playing power struggle games at some point in our life. Now we usually play them when we don't know about these things, and we usually hear this advice from some bro, right? That, hey, you should do this, you should not call them back. And I remember one of my friends, he used to tell me, hey, you should not text a girl back before 30 minutes every time. Like any time that you get a text, you should not reply before 30 minutes. Now these advice have merit, but they also don't have merit, and I will also tell you how it comes into manifestation. If you are actually someone who is who they say they are, so let's say I am actually saying that I will not text a person back for 30 minutes. If I'm actually just not texting back because I'm actually busy and I have a life and small text messages don't concern me all the time, then that's not bad advice. But if I'm just sitting there in front of my phone waiting for the clock to hit 30 minutes so that I can text that person, then it's something that is actually coming from a lot of desperation. If I am saying that I will put up a boundary with a person, so let's say, and I get this question a lot, that, hey Karan, you said that put up a boundary, and I put up a boundary, but what if I put up the boundary and the person doesn't come back? The point of it is not to manipulate a person into coming back to you just because you put up a boundary. The boundary is not for them, the boundary is for you. Whenever you are putting up a boundary, it's kept because you want to value yourself. It's because you have been acting on fears and you have been settling for things that you don't really want, and you are just doing it because of fear, because you think that if I don't settle for less, there is no chance that I will get more. But if you are just putting up a boundary to try to manipulate them in some way, that's not a boundary. That's just you doing the same thing in a different coating. That's just you still acting on insecurity and lack, doing it in a different way. Another point that comes up with this is putting up these small things where this person, let's say, unblocks you or they text you. And a lot of times I have said that, this small text is not worthy of being called movement, or just this small thing shouldn't be enough to grab your attention. That doesn't mean that you are pretending that it doesn't grab my attention. It means that there actually needs to be a change inside of me which tells me that I deserve more. It's not just because I want to play a game with this person where if he didn't call, I wouldn't call, if I didn't call, they wouldn't call. If you don't want to call someone, it's because you don't want to chase. It's because it's beneath you. Not because you want to pretend that I'm not calling, but because you actually believe it's beneath me. You actually believe that chasing is beneath me. You actually believe that just these small text messages and all these things are beneath me. It's an actual change which cannot be faked in any way, shape, or form. When we actually play these relationship games and start calling it manifestation, we are just going in the opposite direction, because we are consistently reinforcing the state of someone who, one, feels the need to play these power struggle games to get someone to like them back, Two, you are just acting out of insecurity and lack, because you are trying to pretend to be someone you're not. Instead of focusing on becoming that person, your focus is more on how can I pretend better. That's not manifestation. That's not getting someone to like you. That's just a manipulation tactic that you're trying to play because you think that it will get this person to give more attention. You still remain a slave to that person's attention towards you to finally feel powerful for yourself. You still remain a slave to that person's text message to feel that my boundary was worthy. You want to do these things for yourself. You want to do these things because you want to feel good. You want to do these things because you want to actually accept only the best for yourself, not just because you're pretending to. Now, I know that this is a topic of an even bigger video. So please comment down below if you want me to make a bigger video on this. I will. But behind all your actions, a good question to ask yourself to correct this should be, why am I doing this? If I'm putting up a boundary, what's the reason? If I'm actually, waiting for texting someone back or, doing all these things, what's the reason behind it? Am I doing it because I actually have a life and these small, small things don't entice me anymore? Or am I doing it because I just want to play this relationship game because someone told me that if you text them 10 minutes later, or if you don't, get physically involved with a person till 3 dates, they will have more of a chance to like you back. We don't want to play power struggle games. We want to have an actual change inside of ourselves. The second big manifestation mistake is toxic positivity. Now, I have been a victim of this in my life too, where when I first got into manifestation, and like most of us, I got into it through The Secret, where there is a lot of talk about always feeling positive. Now, the thing with always trying to feel positive is that a lot of times when we are actually going through some negative emotions, we can suppress them and we can create more resistance out of it. We can hurt ourselves even more, and that just comes crashing down eventually. We don't want to pretend that everything is right when it's not. It's totally fine to feel your feelings. We don't have to run away from them. A good statement to follow through on this is, power is not from saying that I don't have negative emotions. Power is in saying that I do have negative emotions, I do have anxiety, but I'm not going to let that run my life. I have anxiety all the time. I have been prone to anxiety before. Anyone who knows me knows that earlier I used to have a lot of anxiety. Now it's better, but it still comes out. But that doesn't mean I'm a slave to that anxiety. That doesn't mean that I don't allow those emotions to come in. I allow those emotions to come in, but I handle them. I know that I have the power to surpass them. I know that just because I have an emotion doesn't mean I have to be guided by it. And you are a human being. There are a spectrum of emotions you will at least at some point in your life feel. So emotions are not bad. Our relationship with those emotions is. The next one, visualization, and taking into account on the reason that I'm not manifesting what I want is because I haven't visualized perfectly. Now hear me out. And this is for all the people who are way into Neville Goddard. I love Neville Goddard. I have learned a lot from him. But a big thing about his teachings is that a lot of people have very half interpretations of his teachings, because all you have heard about him is through his book, The Complete Reader, or through some lectures. There are many lectures, there are many things that he has written. If you actually go on Google, search, you can read a lot about it. But a lot of times people seem to think, and this is a conversation that I was having with one of my clients recently, is that the reason that I haven't gotten what I wanted is because I haven't visualized it perfectly. That's not true. So there are many arguments in relation to this. The first one, if you say that you have been manifesting throughout your life, then you haven't visualized everything perfectly. It still has happened, good things and bad things. So one, that proves that you don't have to visualize everything perfectly. Second, if your state of being remains the same, you can keep visualizing throughout your life and you will still not change. So for someone who is living from a victim mindset, consistently feeling defeated with life, consistently living in a pessimistic view that life doesn't work out for me, everything bad only happens to me, I just cannot seem to get it, all these things don't work out for me. And then the solution to that they provide themselves is that, maybe I will do a scene where I will visualize it more clear, where I will sleep in that state. After sleeping in that state, what about the rest of the day? What about your perspective throughout life? What about the way that you see yourself? Those things matter more than what visual scene you're doing. Techniques are just tools. Eventually, you are the one who has to do the work. So think about it this way. Cristiano Ronaldo's shoes are great shoes. He plays with them and they help them
Techniques are like those shoes, but if I wear his shoes, I cannot play the same way he does, because eventually the person behind it matters. So your focus should more be on changing yourself, not how to visualize perfectly. Yes, it can help. Yes, those techniques help, but it's not the only thing that is holding you back. Your perceptions towards life and everything else is what is holding you back. So focusing on those rather than just trying to do the perfect technique is going to be way more beneficial for you to get results than just focusing on this one manifestation technique. The next thing, judging yourself for your instinctive thoughts. Now, we all have knee jerk reactions. I will give you an example. If someone brings up their hand in a very fast way, as if they are trying to slap me, bring it towards my face, I will have a knee jerk reaction of either closing my eyes, or my hand will go up, or my body will, slightly go down. It's because I have a knee jerk reaction to not being hurt. Similarly, your thoughts can sometimes be instinctive, which means I'm randomly sitting and I can have a negative thought that, oh, what if my girlfriend leaves me? A random thought. Now, that instinctive thought does not define me. But a lot of times, what happens is, when we have this thought, and we have always heard, again goes back to the concept of toxic positivity, that you're not supposed to have negative thoughts. What happens is, you get this thought and then you start judging yourself for having this thought, and then you tell yourself that just because I had this thought, that it means I'm not changing. That thought in itself had no power. It's just the thought that came up. After that, how you handled it is what matters. So your instinctive thought did not have that kind of importance. The way that you would have handled it later would have mattered more. But because we are judging ourselves for having this one thought which we call negative, we are going into a zone where we are spiraling and creating negativity and dwelling, because we think this one thought is ruining everything. Your instinctive thoughts are not always going to be in your control. Your perceptions towards them are. So focusing more on how you handle that thought rather than being worried that that thought came is going to be a bigger indication of your change rather than the thought in itself. The last one is, and this is something that I have talked about a lot, not following up on your words. Now, you can say I'm worthy, I'm good enough, I'm damn good enough, I'm loved like a god, and all these things, and then go stalk and chase someone. And then you are ruining your own progress, because then you are actually not someone who feels worthy. Then you're actually not someone who says who they say they are. You are just again playing a pretense game where you are pretending to be something that you're not, and your actions are not aligned with your words. See, a true transformation comes when you are actually changing, not when you are just saying these words and then doing the same things. It's very important to understand that unless and until the change happens within, where I'm actually saying and doing the things and embodying the version of me that I want to be, I am going to be in this same position. I will probably get some small results, but that is where it will be restricted to. It will not result into the full thing because I have not fully changed. So, following up on your words, accepting only what you think you should, being in a position where you love yourself to the ability that you affirm with, and actually being someone who your new affirmations and your new self would be proud of is going to be way more important than the affirmations that you do. So if you're saying I'm good enough, actually act that way. Don't accept anything lesser in your life. Have those standards for yourself, from yourself and from the world. That would be way more helpful. So I hope these points help, and I will see you guys in the next video.
Click the like button if you liked the video. Subscribe and turn the notifications on for more such content. Comment down your video suggestions and I will see you guys in the next one.